Okay, all right, we are up and running. All right. So, big news is I spent all weekend sick in bed with COVID. Not super fun, but I'm feeling a bit better today. I've got a little bit of work to do after this, so it won't be a super long book club, but I did want to get this one done just because it's been pretty much on track otherwise. I'm like, what's making noise? There we go. And yeah. Where's my mouse? Where's my other mouse? No, my other mouse. Is that the right one? There we go. Whoa. Oh shit, I forgot this one had the scroll wheel. Okay, we're getting it going. All right, good. Okay, yeah, so we have the book, Circe, which was a brilliant read. It's a novel. It's, that's the other reason it's gonna be a long book club, because I've also got, talking is not super great right now. That to fit in there is that better, hopefully. It's a novel. It's about it's mythologically inspired by the figure of Circe from Homeric and other myths, as a kind of half, I guess, a god, kind of half goddess kind of being. And yeah, I guess I just wanted to like thoroughly recommend it. I don't know if anyone out there has read it or is interested in reading it or has any questions or comments themselves about it. Let me know. Also, feel free to check out in the Discord as well. And I'll post a link to that. But yeah, otherwise I'm just gonna go through my thoughts on it. Briefly, and that'll be about it for today. We'll just cover that. And I think there was it had those kind of like literal reading club group questions at the back of it. So I'll go through and see if any of those are any decent. I skimmed them briefly earlier, but I didn't actually read them all. So we'll see if we like any of those ones. And yeah. Oh, closed captioning doesn't want to be working, hey? Why? There we go. Okay, we got that working. Let's post a link to the Discord. But also, hey, Captain Silent Author. Also, if you've read anything good recently, or you're in the middle of reading anything, let me know what it is you're reading, or what you would recommend or not recommend, or yeah, whatever your reading journey has been lately. Let me know. And oh, and I've got my starry shirt for in America's Spirit today. Even though I didn't get to have my own Canada Spirit earlier, which sucks. Hey, Anos, how's it going? I finished the book finally. I really liked it. I like the way it ended too. What were your thoughts on all of it? Tell me. Oh, all my phones are dying. Where's my charging cable? It's not here. Cool. Was I looking up the book? See, I'm still slowed. Okay, I posted the Discord link. Good. And yeah, I'm a little bit... Oh, I wanted to check the captions. That's what it was. I'm feeling a little bit sick, so that's not super cool, but yeah, that's where I'm at. But much better than over the weekend. You are reading Captain Silent Author, Heir Apparent by Vivian Vandel Veld. What is that about? Tell me more. just trying to check my captions here. You're on chapter 2. Is it good so far? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll see if that fixes it. I have no idea when it works and when it doesn't work. Yes, that did fix it. Okay, good. Okay, so it's to do with the closed caption browser that needs to be relogged into again for the future reference. That's what I need to remember. It's good. You like it? There we go. Circe was really good too because it went through it tied in a whole bunch of different myths and mythological figures and monsters and heroes, and I didn't realize until I got to the end that the author had also written, her first book was about Achilles and Patroclus, so I'm gonna have to read that too because that sounds great, because I loved her writing in this and how she wove in kind of the mythological. She had originality and creativity with the mythological details, but like she didn't outright like ignore stuff either from the established kind of myths, which is good because sometimes people get a little too, they just take it in a super different direction, and now all of a sudden like it's like that's not even the same story anymore. This was very tasteful and very respectful of the source material again, I think. So I liked that. Okay, where would the... Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah. Okay, it's a virtual reality game that has magic rings and ghosts and man-eating dragons. Oh, interesting. Okay, I like it. My favorite virtual reality kind of book is Otherland by Tad Williams. It's like a long series, but it's so good, and it references a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff either references it or unknowingly references it because like they did it first, and it's a really brilliant book series actually. Okay, I don't want the questions that they asked the author. Oh, okay, so one of the biggest things about, and there's going to be spoilers for this book today as well. Giannine must win and stay alive because if she loses, she dies in real life. Right? Yeah, you gotta have that. Otherwise, where's the drama? Yeah, I think that's, I think it makes it more interesting than just, I think it can be overdone too, though, in AR things, because it's like, okay, they die in real life. Okay, so why aren't we just like doing this in real life? But I mean, then again, you get all the crazy, wild stuff from being in a video game, which is fun. Yeah, I liked the Queen Sugar. I'm not sure where she is. She's probably sitting on the floor somewhere. Oh, she heard her name. Hey, you want to come here and be fluffy? Do you want to be on camera? No, she's looking at me as if she's questioning whether I'm going to give her food. And I don't have any food to give her, so she doesn't believe me. Come here. Come. Come here, my love. No, I got one ear twitch, and it was very suspicious. But she might come over in a bit. We'll get some food. I know, right? That's obviously the solution. I think there's a bother that dog redeem. I'll go get her if I'll stand up. We get a redeem. Oh, I was saying, Queen Sugar is divine. In this book, wait, I was talking about that. Oh, see, my brain is so dead. In the other book, it was really good because it wasn't just that the main characters might die. It was that the whole mystery that they're solving in Otherland is that there's children dying. And so, like, they have something... Bother that dog! All right, we'll bother her. So they had something to, like, kind of fight for, to kind of make them go into the game in the first place, even though they knew it was risky, instead of just being trapped. Can't be bothered. There's food in the kitchen though, so she's gonna be antsy. But here she is. Beauty for the shook. Good couch. I like that the couch is getting praise now too. To be fair, this is a queen couch. Actually, yeah, come to think of it, that's an interesting point in the the Circe book too, is kind of the risk of death, because she's like an immortal goddess, right? But she could always be killed by like one of the stronger gods, because she's pretty weak. So she always did have that risk of death, even though she's immortal and nothing normally will kill her. And then she had to kind of come to terms with that. But then also, again, one of my shug, I told you she wasn't going to hang out. There's food cooking. Also, the risk at one point was that she had her kid, and that she needed to protect that. To protect her child. And of course, there's another god out to kill her child. So, and then it was actually woven really nicely, because, you know, you learn the reason by the end, or if you kind of know the myths, you can kind of guess or know what the reason is. And they make it flow really nicely, because there's kind of like a flip-flopping irony where it's like, you know, if you let him live, you'll regret it. And then it's like, oh, well, the reason she thinks she's supposed to regret it happens, and then she's like, no, I would never regret it anyways. And then it flips again, and it's like, oh, you almost regret it now, but then you still don't, because, you know, she loves him. But it was really well done. Yeah, Logic says, why isn't the child immortal also? Because Greek myths, that's why. They do what they want. I liked some of the different figures it brought in. Like, it used Prometheus really well, and I'm super all about Prometheus right now, because I'm all about that kind of forbidden knowledge, kind of consciousness stuff. And he was really kind of like an early encounter in the novel, but I thought it was played well, and then they referenced it later throughout the novel, which was good. What about Nyx? No, they didn't have... I don't think we had Nyx in this one. We did have... What did we have? We had Helios, because that's her father. We had a whole bunch of really good ones. We had Zeus a little bit. We had Athena a little bit. We had Hermes. Actually had a lot of characterization, which was cool, because I feel like Hermes kind of gets the short shaft a lot. He's kind of gets, I guess, parodied or stereotyped more than he gets actual characterization, and I thought this was a good way of doing it, and not just making him all trickster or all good or all anything. It's like he had all these different sides to him, including like the out for himself side, which was good. The difference between the Titans and the Olympian gods is interesting. Nyx, the primordial guardian of darkness. Hermes is a badass, right? Yeah, I liked that they kind of like used that as a point of conflict, as kind of like the political drama in the book was kind of between the Olympians and the Titans. So you had kind of like Zeus constantly worrying about things and having to... I like that she figured out the politics by the end of it, right? Because from the beginning she was just like a pawn in all these other people's schemes and just getting tossed around by the politics. And then realizing that, hey, no, this is all like, they're making these rules up as they go. Like, just make your own rules up and find a reason, and then they'll listen. And they did. And so it was great to see her kind of come into, figure out what she wanted and then find a way to get it. I adored the scene with the Trigon, with the underwater monster. I thought that was the coolest scene. I thought the way they wrote that entire scene, like how she walked underwater, kind of what she saw, what she did, kind of how she talked to this kind of primordial beast of the ocean. I loved some of the, like, there were so many good quotes from that scene, like, you would steal it from me, but you won't take it when it's given. Like, it was just super good. I thought that was brilliant. Hey, Sissy, They had Nyx's daughter, but no Nyx. Who is Nyx's daughter? They did have Athena, so Athena was well done too. She was kind of one of the main antagonists. Most of the gods were antagonists, honestly. They're all out for themselves. Athena was one of the main antagonists in this, and it was good. They also had a really sweet part with like Daedalus, like who is like related to the Minotaur myth, and they go into that because that's connected to like her sister and stuff too. And so they went all through the Minotaur myth and like Icarus, and I thought that was really cool because Athena is mean. Yes, exactly. Athena's like only out for kind of what she wants, and she doesn't care about what anyone else wants unless it fits with her plans. But I mean, I feel like that kind of fits with Athena in the literature too, right? Like, kind of very focused and driven and has a goal and is not going to let anyone else mess up that goal. Hemera, the daughter of Nyx. Oh, I'll have to look it up. I was sad that they didn't actually, like, there were a lot of gods that weren't even, like, name drop mentioned. Like, a lot of the main pantheon didn't even get a mention, which is sad. But, I mean, again, it would have, like, been distracting, too, right? Because it wasn't about them. And if they didn't have a reason to intersect with this, you know, minor demigoddess, why would they show up, right? But it was a shame because she wrote everything so well. I would have loved to see her write more about, like, the actual pantheon. So maybe she'll write another one, and then we'll get to see kind of the full pantheon and everything. The goddess of warfare and knowledge, right? Gotta make war. But I also really loved, like, the way it described her, like, her island and, like, her house and the gardens and, like, the forest and the ocean and all of these beautiful things. And, like, just this beautiful atmospheric kind of cottagecore kind of. If you like cottagecore, read this book, because, like, most of the book is fucking cottagecore. It's just, like, this woman on her cute little... I mean, probably not cute or little, probably grand and magnificent mansion, because she's still a daughter of the gods, in her exile, with her, like, her animals and her farm and her herb garden. Ares, he makes war, yes. I mean, there's so many gods that like war. Oh, her relationship with Odysseus was perfect. They did that so well. I also really liked that you had the growth between her relationship with Odysseus and then her relationship at the end of the book. And you could kind of see that, like, while they were both good and they were both healthy, you could see that she'd grown and was more confident in what she needed and what was right for her by the end of it. And you could even see her literally catching herself at one point being like, why am I trying to show off? I don't need to. And you kind of got through some of this stories, like, about how kind of the things she told Odysseus, and that she didn't need to like tell those things anymore because they weren't, she didn't need to defend herself in that way anymore. She could just be herself. Athena's a strategist. Artemis would be proud of her. Ooh, Artemis also had a nasty scene in this book. It was like a throwaway scene too. It wasn't even a major character, but she like got mean to a character. I think in her only scene of Artemis had. But yeah, it was good because there were all these different, there was like some parts of like the myths around Jason that came up in Medea, and I don't actually know much about those myths, but I know quite a bit about like the Odyssey. And so a lot of it was focused on the Odyssey, but it was cool to kind of see some other stuff. And like her siblings too, especially like I said before, like with the Minotaur and Daedalus and that whole kingdom, and then kind of her brother who ended up being who was Perseus, something like that, and just like kind of all these different historical parts of mythology and stuff that kind of all interwove within her story, and how she had all these different viewpoints of these characters growing up versus what they were actually like when she was an adult, and kind of coming to terms with that. I thought it was really well done. Oh yeah, the gods all had their reasons for everything they did. Doesn't mean they were nice. They all had their reasons. But I think that's so important to remember for like the Greek gods, especially like how capricious they were. Like even the good ones, it's like, well, sometimes they just go, no, fuck it, I don't like that mortal, goodbye. Hecate had her reasons, yeah. What was I saying? I was talking about the Prometheus thing, which I liked that. Oh, and I liked how that kind of, it was a little bit of like almost a driving force throughout the novel, and it did come up again near the end as kind of a, like a reveal. It was kind of like a secret, but also a driving force throughout the novel, which was well done because it meant a lot to Circe, to the main character. Hecate, the goddess of magic, right? Oh, and I loved the magic in this book. The way they wrote about it, it was super cool. Basically, it was all just like her discovering plants that had like god's blood or titan's blood on them that were like kind of inherently magical to make magic, and then her discovering how she could use just regular plants and other things to make magic without needing that kind of outside source. And she kind of like at the beginning everyone thinks it's like biological, like it comes through lineage, whether someone could use magic, but by the end she's like, I think it's really more about will, and then she teaches someone else to use it, which I thought was really cool because she'd kind of like learned that it wasn't about something she'd been, from her heritage, from her parents, from her godparents. It was about something she learned and developed and a skill she'd built up over time, and that she could teach it to other people because it was something she knew, not something she'd been given or was inherent. And I really liked the way they did that. I thought that fit really nicely. and that she was able to share that with someone else. Yeah, Circe, the goddess who turns men into animals, exactly. And so that was one of the things she learned how to do, to kind of protect her island. And also one of those things that kind of she kind of realized eventually that maybe she was becoming too much like her parents, like that kind of like callousness for mortal life, that she'd kind of stopped caring whether they deserved it or not. And then she kind of like realized eventually that, oh wait, why am I guess I don't need to, like, that's not really functional. You thought less of the Olympian gods and goddesses. Yeah, they're not all rosy, sunshine, happy gods, that's for sure. Yeah, Hecate can take magic from others, being the goddess of magic. Yes, she didn't come up in this book, though. I was kind of actually surprised that she didn't come up at all. Because we did get kind of some underworld stuff, too. A little bit of underworld stuff. But really not even like Hades or anything. More like just kind of like some of the, like, Mnemosyne and Lethe and kind of some of those underworld spirits. More so than, like, the big ones. But yeah, because she was basically like kind of one of the first witches in universe, at least in this book, I was actually kind of surprised that Hecate didn't come up at all, being, you know, like a witch. But no, we didn't see her, so it was interesting. Oh, this is talking about like how like kind of Homer's Odyssey about homecoming, and how Circe also kind of had to like make her own home, I guess, kind of thing. And then kind of make her own family, etc. Yeah, the gods and goddesses aren't good or bad, they're neutral. I don't know, the Greek gods and goddesses are kind of like, they're good and bad, all of them, basically. Like, they all do good things, they all do bad things. They're just like, I think it's really more like people than what we consider in our kind of like, I guess like Western society, with kind of that Christianity kind of outlook, where you have a god who's like benevolent and perfect, is the idea. Whereas these gods are really more like most like ancient gods from different cultures. Usually you have that kind of, they're just more like people. Like they have, you know, desires and needs, and they do good things sometimes, and they do selfish things sometimes, and they do bad things sometimes, and they're just like people. And they just do, they don't always do the right thing. Oh yeah, Scylla, I don't know if it's Scylla or Scylla. You can probably say it either way. Depending on how Greek you want to go. Haggerty probably thought newbie Mazdik users not worth my time. Way beyond them. Exactly, right? She's out pushing the edge. It's like, wait until they get really good, then I'll talk to them. But yeah, I think the whole writing her mistakes, because I think she recognized her mistakes right from the get-go, at least most of them, but then writing them by the end, I feel like that was really important, kind of coming full circle for her, to be like, this is this one thing that's kind of weighs on me and has been troubling me ever since it happened, and I feel bad about it, and I don't know what to do about it, because there really isn't much to do. And then she, through developing her magic skills, comes up with a solution for it, to like stop this monster that she created, basically. Themis is a good goddess. What's Themis? I don't know that. I feel like I've heard that one, but I don't remember. But yeah, I also thought like the descriptions of Scylla were crazy too. That was really well done and kind of made it terrifying. I also loved, okay, so the first part of the book was set in like Helios's kind of, I don't know, palace, cave kind of thing, but like all like kind of this obsidian black, beautiful, reflective glow because he's like made of sunlight. So just all these beautiful scenes you had. And then her mother was like an ocean nymph. And so you just had all these lovely imagery. I love anything with imagery, and it was just the book had all these beautiful scenes with kind of all these different kind of gods and nymphs and different figures. And she had a really good way of kind of writing these interesting features and settings, and it really worked nicely. Famous, the goddess of justice and wisdom and good counsel. It's good not to have Hecate because it would be too easy for her to use magic. That's a good point too, right? Like if Hecate had been there and just been like, here, you have magic, right? Whereas this way she had to kind of figure it out herself and learn what to do and how to do it all from scratch. And kind of trial and error. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Oh, this book was also like 100% about like childhood and parental trauma and like dealing with parents who like maybe were not good parents and kind of overcoming that and becoming a good parent, like kind of breaking that cycle and being a good parent to her kid and not letting all of the kind of terrible childhood that she had influence that. And also like with their terrible siblings and all of that stuff, and it's like she just kind of overcame and found a way to be healthy in her own self. Oh, I love Daedalus. I loved the whole like arc with Daedalus. I thought that was great. I really liked the way that they emphasized him as a craftsman and a like creator and kind of what was important to him, and like his family was important to him, and he just had such like fullness of character and everything. I thought he was really well used. Apollo's a good god. Apollo can be a good god, yes. He can also be have some problems too, but Apollo's a pretty good one, yeah. And this is that you can call any of the Greek ones good all the way through, because they all do terrible stuff sometimes. I don't know, there's probably one out there that just wasn't written about enough to have done terrible stuff. It's like, oh, God's only mentioned in one myth and they're fine. Oh, I was saying earlier too, like kind of like that abuse from her siblings, but then at one point she does kind of connect a little bit more with her sister and kind of start to understand her a little bit better, even though it doesn't like, her sister's still not like a good person, nor was she a good sister, but it kind of gives you a little bit of understanding on kind of where she was coming from, which I like. I always like to see that kind of three-dimensionality, even to someone who's going to be an antagonist. And especially like coming from a child who's growing up, right, who can only see like the villain as a child, and then being an adult and can be like, oh, I see what was happening here. Like, it doesn't excuse what you did to me, but I understand why you also felt trapped and like didn't have a choice, and you kind of were struggling just to get yourself through. Hephaestus is misunderstood. That one I could see. I feel like Hephaestus gets the short end of the stick. Oh, yes, and how, like, Daedalus's loom came through for Penelope. I loved that. I also thought Penelope was such a great character. I thought she was super cool. I really liked the way she characterized Odysseus from when he was with Circe versus when he came home. And especially because like there were quite a few, like 7 years or something plus in between when he left Circe and got to actually go home, and just like you could see that it had just really like turned him, and had just really made him bitter and unable to be home and be happy. You know how like some people can't, that kind of PTSD thing, right? Like you can't, even when you go home, it doesn't feel like home. And he just kind of, she really captured that in Odysseus, and how like he kind of ruined his own life because he couldn't just rest. He couldn't just believe that things were okay and take it easy and just trust, because like he had a wife and a son who were there and waiting and ready for him, and he just kept finding new problems. And I thought it was really good, in a realistic way. Again, that kind of trauma, that kind of dealing with that personality type that is great in, you know, a crisis or a war or a battle, but then comes home and can't stop looking for the next battle, right? Because some people, that's how it goes. Hey Radha, how are you? I'm alright, I'm still pretty sick. What happened? I was sick all weekend, so I've got a little bit of work to do today, and then tomorrow I'm going to be working on social media. So I might get some social media stuff done tonight, but probably it'll be tomorrow. But yeah, I loved all the descriptions of like the loom and the weaving, and again, like I said, like the island and all of her crafts and stuff. I thought all the little descriptive details were so beautiful. And again, like I said, I love imagery. So anytime someone can write a book that really has gorgeous scenery and details, I just love that. When you feel like you're there. Yes, and like making kind of real detailed versions of kind of, you know, the son that kills his father, and it's like, this is like, you know, all of these prophecies and how it actually comes to play and comes to bear, and how it's, you know, kind of Circe's own fault, but then also like what else was she gonna do, and again, she doesn't regret it in the end. Excuse me. And yeah, I just thought that was really good. I'm feeling a little bit better today. Better enough to like sit here and do book club, but that's about it. Oh my god. I like had a nap. I like got up this morning and I tried to do work, and then I did some business work instead. And then I had a nap, and then I'm like, I'll do some work. And then I ended up talking to my friend, because Jesus Christ, because also my old cat is sick. So my friend who has my old cat called me, and so we ended up talking for a while. But we'll see if he gets better or not. We're not sure yet. So anyways, I'm sick. My old cat is sick. It's been a bit of a time, I guess. But yeah, so then I had a nap, and then I did book club. And we'll see about tomorrow. I'm hoping I feel better tomorrow, because I did feel better today. But apparently it can be like a wave. You can feel better and then you can crash again. So who knows? Having Athena on your side is worth it. The fates, right? Hope she didn't have to. You too, Retta. Take care. I hope she doesn't have to fight against Athena. She had to defend herself against Athena. She didn't. If she'd fought against Athena directly, like, she would have lost. But she did have to like protect herself with magic from Athena, and so she did that successfully, actually, which was good. Otherwise, Athena would have won 100%, and she knew that, so she didn't want to fight her directly. She just kind of like blocked her away from her island, which was smart. But yeah, I really liked the way they had some of those kind of, those prophecies and those myths, and kind of, especially if you kind of knew the myths, you're like, well, you can see what's going to happen, but you still want to see it play out, because she wrote it so well with all these great little details and everything. So I thought that was great. really also liked that she had all these animals around her, right? She had like the lions and like sheep and goats and stuff and other animals from the island. And you got to kind of see them like grow up and have generations over time to kind of show the time passing because she doesn't get older. And you got to see kind of how other visitors to the island interacted with those animals as well. And I really liked the way they used the animals. I thought that was good. You think Circe wins over Athena and she protects her son? Good job, Sugar. No, we're not encouraging that. Yeah, I think Circe and Athena's goals aligned at the end, which was good. And I think Athena also liked the fact that she could kind of feel like she was taking Circe's son away, well, without a fight, because it's what the son wanted. So like Circe's not going to fight back, and also Circe knows that it's for the best, right? Like that's his destiny. So I thought that was, like it's a gift from Athena. Circe's, he wants it. No one's fighting. Athena feels like she kind of won. Circe feels like her son is, doing what he wants. And Circe also figured out where she wants to be for the rest of her life, so she can kind of make her own. And kind of it all fell into place nicely so that there didn't have to be a fight, which I think was good. And yeah, they ended up on the same team in the end, or on the same goals in the end. Which is good, because having opposing goals to Athena is not, as evidenced by the rest of the book, not very good. Congratulations, Sugar, stop barking. Correct.
I don't know if you want this food. I can't.
What did you cook?
Spring rolls and stuff.
And what?
My taste and smell are totally.
Because I can smell the food and it smells good. What was it?
It smells good. It smells like rotting chemicals to me.
Okay.
Like so does a bunch of other food I've been testing.
Was it spring rolls or what?
Spring rolls and the tofu.
Okay, I'll come have a look.
Cool.
Yeah, it smells good.
I kind of.
It doesn't smell good to you.
No, and neither does a lot of things like the mayonnaise.
Well, remember yesterday I didn't like the tofu bits,
yeah, no, this is definitely COVID-y stuff.
Okay. Yeah. No, well, I'll come try it and see how I like it.
See what it's like. Because you'll notice right away. Like, this is not a gentle thing. This is like a boom.
Okay.
Yeah, very frustrating.
Yeah. Well, that's common when you're sick though, right? So...
yeah, this is like, I've had this before, but this is like a super extreme.
Very extreme, okay. Dear. Alright, well, I'll find out. We'll find out if we still have sense of taste. And how she escapes the island, yes, right? Like, I really like that she came up with a plan. She used all the knowledge she'd gained up until that point. Like, everyone had been telling her, like, you just have to have some leverage. You just have to figure out what your leverage is and then just be confident and tell them. Like, they just want things to work easy. No, what? Sugar, keep on barking, show them no mercy. No, we don't want that. We want Sugar be gentle and quiet, peaceful and calm. They're gone. There's no one in the hallway. Hey, you want some food? I'm gonna go see what kind of food it is too. And also, like, that was really escaping the island too was about her like showing that she'd overcome her father too, and like her childhood of like being with this father who didn't really care about her and didn't like treat her well, and just being like, no, I'm my own person. This is what I want and what I'm gonna do, and I know you're not gonna help me, but here's why you're gonna help me anyways. And she realized finally that she was just being used as a pawn, and it wasn't even really about her. And it's like, why am I still being stuck like this for no reason when you don't care, Zeus doesn't care, no one else actually cares? Like, let's just solve this problem. And then she did. And all she needed was like the slightest bit of leverage in order to make it happen. Yeah, I also liked how you had all these different types of characters too, because you had some characters who were very much that kind of like power-hungry gods, and then you had like some of the characters who were like Odysseus, who was like all about the glory and the battle and stuff, versus someone like Circe, who was mostly like sit at home but would defend her family when she needed to. And then you even had the other character who like turned away from like Athena's glory because he didn't want it. So I like that you had kind of a little bit of everything. Oh, and then you had at the very beginning, was it Glaukos? The guy who got transformed into the sea god and then like became a total jackass. I thought that was a good little like early fumble too, because it was kind of comedic and it was kind of like, oh, you poor girl, like, yeah. Good lesson learned. In some myths, Circe is a priestess of Hecate, so Hecate should have been there. Oh, I'll have to look that up, actually. That sounds really interesting. I will look that one up. She was always a good hostess. She was always a good hostess unless you, unless she turned you into a pig. But yeah, I really liked that transition too, because at first she was very careful about like, you know, testing people and being like, are you a good guest, or are you like a bad guest? And then, but then like seeing her fall into like, they're all bad, kind of that kind of bitterness, and then falling out of it at the end of the book and being like, oh wait, okay. Like, I guess they're not all bad. Yeah, her magic came out of nature. Exactly. It came out of the things she grew, the plants she found, the way she, you know, could find that sense and read what was happening, what the plants wanted to do. It was also really good too because it did really touch on, especially because this was, you know, like based on Greek and kind of historic myth, written in a time when, you know, like women were maybe going to be like the wife at home kind of thing, the daughter who's married off, etc., in a lot of cases. And it kind of touched on how like her childhood was with that, and how her mother had kind of made her own way to find her own power, and kind of how that ended up influencing Circe, because it was kind of a very self-serving kind of power, I guess, and not really looking out for all of her children. But then Circe kind of figuring out how to find her own power away from the men and the gods, and then eventually reconnecting kind of on her own terms and finding relationships, which I thought was really good, you know, kind of showing her finding that in a healthy way after having come at it from such a negative environment, such a unhealthy environment of like what was expected of her and what wasn't expected of her, and then what she could actually do and what power she could actually have in herself. Yeah, Telegonia. Yeah, I think we had Telegonus in this one. So same thing. Yeah, so it was really good because they touched all in that family structure, because then we met up after with Telemachus and Penelope, right? And they all got to meet and interact, and it was I really liked the way they did that. I thought that was wonderful. It felt really real too, because you have people who are all like have a lot of reason to like hate each other or be angry at each other because this person they all loved is dead, but they all handled it really nicely, and they just talk to each other. Hydrate. I do need to hydrate. All right, well, my voice is dying. It's been about an hour, although I know it hasn't actually been about an hour because I did have the the start screen up for a little bit first. But I'm going to call it here because my voice is dying. And yeah, I'm honestly not sure what the rest of the schedule is for this week, just because I really don't know how I'm going to be feeling on any given day at this point. I will be trying to do some more co-working. It'll probably just be keyboard co-working, maybe tomorrow or the next day, and then maybe art club on Wednesday. By writing club next Monday, hopefully I'll be back in it, and we'll do writing club anyways, even if it's not really much talking. On next Monday, and book club next month will be Maybe You Should Talk to Someone by Lori Gottlieb, which is basically, it's kind of like it's a therapist kind of memoirs, I guess. It's pretty interesting. It's really cute. Kind of goes through her this therapist when kind of her life was falling apart, and she goes through how she figured it out and got it together. And I haven't quite finished it yet, but I'll finish it in time for next month. And it's also really good if you're interested in therapy, because it's kind of a really like nice, gentle primer on therapy as a concept and what to expect and that kind of stuff if you've never been. And kind of also what to expect from yourself just in general in life and how to handle things. So it's really good. Thank you. I hope I get better soon too. Let's see if there's someone to rate, I suppose. I hope everyone enjoyed book club this month. If anyone has anything else that they've been reading, let me know what it is. If you have any other suggestions for future book clubs, let me know as well. And if you're not already following, give a follow. If you want to talk more about books, join the Discord and post in the book club channel on the Discord. Come on now, so let's go. There we go. Anyone doing writing or anything like that? I know it's the 4th of July, so not too many people are streaming and or, I guess watching streams probably, but... Let's see what we can find. Oh, we got some artists. Maybe we'll just check out an artist. But how's everyone else been? What have you guys all been up to? Did you have a good holiday weekend if you were in Canada or America? Where's my water? I need more water. Ugh, I still got work to do. I think I've still got like 3 hours of work left. Ew. Why did I sign up for work? I'll get some food though. Also, everyone get your COVID vaccinations and boosters. Stuff sucks enough with them, you don't want it without. Alright, I think we got someone here. I'm just gonna double check. That there. Streaming. And I think we're good. God damn it, why is my computer so slow? I do need to get rid of some more tabs. I got rid of a bunch last week and then I added a whole bunch more. Alright, we got a raid. We're gonna go raid via Silda, who's doing some journaling. Keep raiding journaling streamers lately. But that's what we're gonna do. I don't have a better idea. Alright, let's go. Thanks everyone for hanging out. I got raided this person before. Did I spell it right? Via Silda. I think so. Off we go. Alright. Alright, goodbye everyone. Thanks for joining. Stay healthy. Get your shots, get your vaccines, and read more. Join the book club, and let me know what you're reading. What's the date today? It is, oh, that's right, it's July 4th. Oh my god. Okay. All right, off we go. Bye.